Hey everybody, Radom here. Thanks for tuning in to Starsector. So last episode I asked for all of you to go ahead and vote on how I should deal with enemy colonies, and here are the results. It was a very clean 75-25. I'm going to leave the poll up to see if the numbers change, but considering it is overwhelmingly in favor of ground forces, that will be the approach I take. So last episode I did say that I wanted to set myself up in a onslaught. Now, I very crudely, because I actually didn't have all the components that I needed, slapped together this onslaught. It is not ideal, not whatsoever. I also wanted to go over some tips I received. One is from Ego Spode, who is the patron of Kevin, or in Europe as consort. It is about targeting merchant fleets that are heading to resupply the worlds that I've been bombarding. And how I could highly profit from that, not that I need the money, and also I could cripple the economies of the planets that I've been bombarding. Another one is from Ron Harmon. It is about the fact that now that I'm hitting the fleet cap, it would not be unwise to switch my Colossus for Atlas, because these guys here are more fuel efficient than the Atlases, but they, of course, are smaller. So if I want to add more ships, which at the moment I don't, but if I do in the future want to add more ships to the fleet, that would be a pretty good call. So what I did off camera was I outfitted myself with the new Onslaught. Like I said, it is crudely built. And I think what I'm going to do here in the custom production is I'm going to build like 8 of everything. Well, I probably don't need 8 Devastator. But the idea here is to give me options about how I want to outfit. I already know I'm not going to want those. For small slots, I like railguns. They're awesome. But Vulcan cannons, okay. Yes, let's confirm that. That will give me some options about how I want to outfit in the future. Additionally, I want to, let's go to fleet. We've got some new interceptor drones. Okay, I have a crazy amount of spare interceptor drones, but that's about it. Let's drop these guys off. Actually, I'm going to drop everything I think I want to keep at La Vuelta over here. So into storage. I can take that. So here's the weapons I didn't use, and then I'm going to drop off all this stuff. The blueprints I'm going to sell on the open market. So we have a lot of unused alpha cores. I do plan on expanding my colonies. I want to colonize new worlds, so that will be another to-do list. Managing the colony here, let's just sell a whole bunch of this stuff on the open market. Top up on fuel and buy some supplies. So we now have a brand new ship. What I need to do with this ship, oh, who knows? But if I'm interested in colonization, if I go to just planets and stations, sort by hazard, we can then see what is the most colonized. So if I do unclaimed or uninhabited, the Terran world that I managed to find that is, no, let's call it north, was a particularly good world. Zetamance, I don't remember. Zetamance does not look hopeful for colonies. Let's try this again. I remember looking at Fearsome Engine, because this has several. This has a whole slew of nice worlds or decent worlds that would allow us to tech mine and do some very harsh farming, but farming nonetheless. I am actually probably most interested to head and survey some additional new spots. So with that in mind, let me actually go get my AI, all of my cores. If anyone stops me, if I get scanned and they're like, hey, you have all these cores, you know, we're going to arrest you or whatever, I can fight my way out of anything. So I'm going to look at the worlds down here that I've sort of overlooked. Like Uruk, for instance. I think there was a ton of remnants there preventing me from surveying anything there before, but now that's so much not the case. If there are remnants, I should be able to punch through them, providing that Talon does not explode again. I suppose I could have added the goal of 50% market share, roughly. Oh, hegemony. No, I don't think I'm going to be... Defenders will resist. You are outmatched. You are outmatched in every way possible. We will blow you up. So at this stage of the game, it's not necessarily required to colonize only things that are in a cluster around one another, like multiple worlds, but it certainly helps for defense. Yes, so this is indeed... I'm not going to find any nice colonizable worlds, but there are some fleets here. Oops. What kind of fleet are you? Some sort of pirate, I bet. I actually never got comms on it. Orbital habitat, cool. I'll explore that for some drugs. Alright, I don't think any of these worlds are going to yield much of colonizable anything. What would be nice is if... Oh, so they're scavengers. If the systems that I end up colonizing... Oh, weapons cache. Don't mind if I do. Some blueprints. Let me put these further away so they don't get mixed in the stockpile. What is this? High tech. Okay, that's fine. And more weapons caches. Oh, antimatter blaster. I've actually needed that. And the, well, some wings that I'm not sure I'm going to take, but I'll learn both of those. It is fun to, even this late in the game, to get new blueprints. The antimatter blasters are particularly good for Dooms. I was hoping to get them on the Doom, and got some, but I was never able to make them myself. And then we just got some hegemony junk ship blueprints. I'm setting them aside just to remind you all that I don't want these blueprints falling in the hands of pirates, even though it wouldn't really affect much, because like I could take out the pirates myself. But let's leave the pirates to their little junk ships, because it's funny seeing them attempt to fight with such garbage. Looks like some desert worlds. Arid. Barren. There's a ton of... Whoa. I'm going to have to fly into the Corona for this. And it was only a Cerberus. Oh, what a waste. Oh, a Cerberus full of guns. But it's still just a little Cerberus. What about over here? A tug. Maybe tugs have... Oh, tugs just told me where probes were. Wow. Yeah, I could tell you why this is a barren world. It's basking in all sorts of solar wind. Alright, high tech at Yig just finished. Wow, there's a lot of armaments hidden out here. I'm not thrilled about sitting in the Corona. If you're ever curious about what this does, you could just mouse over it. So this, what it is doing is depleting my combat readiness. It's basically damaging my ships. Okay, I'm picking up a lot of stuff around this planet. This planet is full of ruins and probably stations and the like. Nope, just some ships. Oh, I got some random lieutenant. I'll take a look at that in a second. So, survey. Vast ruins, but can't farm here. Not really. The ruins have an alpha core. Alright, alright. Some Ludic Church blueprints, and a ton of random luxury goods. I'm not entirely sure. It's probably just a bunch of scavengers. Yeah, just friendly scavengers. I needn't pick any fights. I'm not going to stop for a buffalo. And out we go. Well, a quick stop for an alpha core is a good thing. Let's head to the White Dwarf system and get a little bit more surveying going. Now, this is a very... I'll just throw it out here. Surveying with a fleet as large as mine is very dreadfully inefficient. Wow, there is no planets here, is there? Checking my intel. We did... Oh, come on. It's not even going to show me. So there's a probe at the black hole Alpha Suro, whatever that says. I'm not going to try to say that. Wow, hegemony sending more. You know, I think I did very much cripple the church, but it seems to me like the hegemony want to be crippled again. Alright, I'm very low on supplies, so I am going to... I was going to head back to gain some new supplies. Because all of the surveying and sitting in the sun, the stars' coronas have depleted considerable supplies. Maybe I'll just resupply at Rama. So the expedition failed. Oh, that's the Persean League. That's because I had... high market share and they were peeved. It's a very strange game mechanic, but it does make it so that you can't just be an economic powerhouse and keep everyone friendly. That there is such a concept of like economic war in this game, which is cool, but it is a little strange that like, you know, even your own allies are like, oh, you have a big economy, we're gonna come like try to disrupt it. It's like that doesn't seem right. Okay, so on the open market, I'm going to sell... and some of the blueprints I don't need. Keeping the cores, obviously, I'm not going to sell those. Oops. Okay, resource stockpile. Let's get some supplies. Didn't... Oh, I gotta... Oops. I've been messing up. I gotta turn my transponder on. I'm freaking out all the other, I'm freaking out all the other fleets in my system because they think a giant fleet gone dark is, like, lurking. That's not the case. I'm not lurking. I'm not trying to kill anyone, but they don't know that, so I gotta fix that. Oh, this is Bezel. Hi, Luweta. So, now that we're back at Luweta, that is way too many supplies. Let me get 3,000 of that. All right, we're going to owe a lot at the end of the month, but, you know, whatever. Fleet refit. So I did sort of slap this thing together. It's really not particularly great. It's not well designed. And I think I want to fix that. So I have some small ballistics on the front that are not even used. So I've got flat coverage pretty much everywhere. This is a medium slot turret, so let's put something nice in there. I think what I'll do here is something like a thumper. Maybe not. So thumper is mostly good against hull. So yeah, I'm gonna put some thumpers back there, just to keep the fighters off me. Let's upgrade these to dual flak. Oops. Come on, I have another dual flak, don't I? Oh, maybe I didn't even make this dual flak. Yeah, it says I only have one in storage. That's too bad. Well, we'll have to go with regular old flat cannons then. At least gets my vents up to 60. What else do I want to do here? The rails are all set. Maybe on the side, Devastators? It's a lot of points to keep the fighters at bay, but it would be nice to have them at bay. And then I'll do advanced turret gyros so that we can turn the turrets. So as for weapon groups, one will be my thermal pulse cannons, which are built in. I can't change those. Two is everything sort of roughly forward facing, which is the Mjolnir and the 3 autocannons. And then the Devastators and the Thumpers are on the side with all the railguns on the side, and then the Flaks are on 4. I feel as if this is a terrible loadout, but only time will tell. All right, storage. Let's put that stuff away. And let's go ahead and, if the hegemony are messing with me, I mess back. So let's use our new tactic, our destabilization tactic, to try to really bring their planets to heal. But before I do that, I think it might be prudent. Okay, the AI inspection failed. Yeah, no kidding. Your fleets are puny compared to mine. It might be prudent to return to the church worlds and make sure that they are not recovering. And also, Ego, mentioned trying to hit some merchant fleets. So we'll have our comms up to see if there's any merchant fleets heading to church worlds to try to resupply them. And we'll knock out some merchant fleets. I haven't really done that. I haven't, in this series, knocked out smugglers or merchants. And there could be a lot of really good money if you want to be, it's sort of piracy, but if you want to be a little bit of a pirate, there's a lot of money in that. Okay, so here's the Gilead jump point. Let's go to Asher first. Alright, so these things are disrupted. The colony is basically, what's going to happen is, as we raid it, it will continue to shrink, making it a lot more difficult for it to, recover. One raid a day. It's really too bad that there isn't like a certain amount of Marines that you can just say, hey, I need 500 Marines to raid, so I'll use 1,000 Marines and I can raid twice a day. But that's just not, oop, I didn't wait long enough. That's just not the way it works. Calling info, the ground defenses, I don't think I can shell. Oh, no, I can. So there goes the ground defenses for a lot longer. So as you can see, they're disrupted for a year. We'll head over to Gilead and do the same over there. Boom. And this is staying in keeping with your requests to use ground forces. So here is their Star Fortress, and now this is the first time you will see my outdated battleship. I love how that's called outdated. Let's, for this fight, go full low-tech. So my special ability is called a burn drive, which allows you temporary fast acceleration. And I'm going to have to get considerably closer than my Paragon ever did. Oh, I probably shouldn't have burn drove into this. This might hurt a little bit. It's been a while since I've piloted one of these bad boys. And as you can see, my flux is taking a beating. I'm just going to let my shields down. Another thing I could do is turn off my... I know I can vent quick because I invested a ton of points in decent venting. Alright, so here's my thermal pulses. Oh god, I'm so bad at piloting this thing. It takes a little bit of adjustment period. My flux capacity pool is rather terrible compared to what I'm used to. Alright, I got that. But I'm a lot more armored. I can tank to the face, so to speak. Alright, I figured that was going to happen. These are going to hurt. Yes, as you can see, I am not a good low-tech pilot. It's... Wait, why is there mines behind me? Jeez Louise. Okay, well, who are you? Because you're totally... You could not be in my way anymore. The Robinator. Nope. Yep, you're still in my way. Alright. Thermal pulses. I haven't even gone to my secondary weapons yet. There we go. Now I'm using my secondary weapons to bomb them. As you can see, it's alternating. Maybe I should have these be non-alternating. Alternating doesn't seem to be all that necessary. But what I will do is, when there aren't need for flax and rails, I'll turn them off. So thermal pulses have a certain amount of charges, and then they run out of charges and they have to reload. Oops, and I'm shooting them off to space. Yeah, I would say this is probably a poorly designed ship, but I'm also just terrible low tech. It's easy to just beam with a big old flux pool. Whoa, what are you doing? Burn driving straight into it. Although it is fun when, you know, you've got that thermal pulse and you just hammer away. can be rewarding if you're a decent pilot. Alright, something risky. Here we go. Cowabunga! Get all that debris out of the way. And now we can freely shell them to hell. Oh, that was a poor show of force, but hey, it works. Can't argue with the results. Alright, let's disrupt the megaport first. Viewing the colony, I do need to disrupt farming and mining, and the Star Fortress, but the Star Fortress I can't disrupt, it just could blow up. Speaking of blowing up, let's salvage parts of it. Alright, farming is disrupted. Yeah, see, even their growth is not that in the negative, meaning it's going to take a lot of time to depopulate these worlds. In truth, unless it's a small world, I'm probably never going to, I'm never going to truly depopulate it, because there's just so many people here, and it will take so long. Alright, so that's all said and good. We disrupted those church worlds. Let's head over to the other church worlds. Do the same over there. Alright, I'm going to keep my transponder on while trading with the independents over here, and then I'll drop transponder. Oh, the intel just picked something up. Ugh, I missed it. I believe it was that there was supplies coming, but I could be wrong about that. Alright, so the independents here, I've just happily bought things on open market. Nope, I don't want that. I also have the lieutenant, so you, I'm dismissing. I'm already at max. Alright, time to do some damage. Transponder off. Alright, let's attempt to be a little bit... Oh, you know what? I didn't change the alternate firing mode. Oh well. Now the only problem is the railguns that I have make for very flux expensive point defense. Well, I don't need to do much. That section's already blown up. Alright. I'm going in doing something dangerous for a better view. And it pays off. As you can see, onslaughts are very much, especially with given the burn drives and all, they really much are designed to get up in the face of the enemies and sort of brawl. Beep beep, coming through. Alright, let's turn on all of our other weapons because I'm not facing it. Might as well auto fire broadside, and we're done. Another thing is, yeah, you can easily just fire broadside, and that's not a problem. So tactical bombardment and raids. Let's do spaceport first. Sit around for a little bit. Okay. And farming. And light industry. Viewing the colony, they are disrupted for a very long time, and their growth is also in the negative. Yig, you've been growing, have you not? Upgrade to Star Fortress. Don't mind if I do. And let's incentivize growing. Now, once I disrupt these guys, I don't know how much I really want to spend time against the hegemony. I think it would be best and maybe most entertaining if I just focus on one faction at a time. The hegemony can throw their fleets at me. That's fine. I know I will be defeating their fleets. But we'll just try to disrupt the church, as I see them. Hegemony is a greater threat, but the church's ideology is a more incompatible with our own. Goodness, look at my flux. The railgun point defense is overkill and so expensive. Alright, let's go in for a different angle. Oh, don't bump me. Oh, I bumped you. Oh my god, I just shoved you straight into their station, and you're already hurting on your shields and flux and all that. Well, they're blowing up. I feel bad, because I definitely, that onslaught. Took heat from me. The good news about using these low-tech ships, they are faster. They're probably faster than if I was using a high-tech ships. So they do have their benefits. Alright, and then disrupt mining, and we're going to be good. Well, the church is really not going to have the ability. Ooh, no, I don't want your ship. I didn't even grab that loot. They're not going to have the ability to do very much for a very, very, very long time. So, the one world that I did not survey, probably because of warning beacons. Let's go. I wonder how absolutely terrible I am going to be as a pilot from my warship going into this fight. We'll see. Maybe I get blown up. Alright, warning beacon medium? And I back down from this? Alright. It's just a bunch of remnant spam. Oh, but there's a paragon here? That told me where a supply cache is. So, new intel supply cache is okay, forget it. Don't try to interdict me. Poor farmland, scattered ruins, but a lot of ore. Some administrator was hiding on this planet. There's also a mining station here. I gained some crew. And a bunch of corrupted nanoforges, but a missile blueprint that's pretty nice. So what does this allow me to unlock? A ton. That's really nice. Alright, so these nanoforges I'm going to set aside. And... ooh, a synchrotron core. That is awesome. Because if I am starting up a new solar system colony, and I want to make fuel, synchrotron core is obviously the heart of making fuel. Well, those remnants know that they can't take me, so they're just sort of swarming around me like mosquitoes, but I can pretty much ignore them. Radiated world? Yeah, let's check it out. Just some ores. Well... What's... Oh, the inactive gate. I was like, why is there so many swarms over here? Bunch of ships and the like. Ah! They're fighting me. Okay. Low-tech rollout. I'm curious. Maybe I'll even build in and outfit a midline ship. Now, I am fairly certain that my current ship could not take a Radiant one-on-one, mano-a-mano. And as you can see, my my flux is tapped, and I'm just gonna burn drive out of here and let my ally help. It's a very different playstyle, and I just haven't adjusted yet. Ballistic spam! You're not gonna get away from me. Oh, you're already dead. Now I'm just playing bumper cars. As you can see, the tactic here is just to fill the air full of so much weaponry that there's nowhere safe. Come on. Burn, 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 burn. There we go. I would say, yeah, as a low-tech ship, I feel, to make a comparison, and this might not be fair because of my own personal skill, I feel like the low-tech ships are like blunt instruments, you know, like a warhammer or a mace, whereas the high-tech ships are like a scalpel, both able to do terrible damage, or like a katana, right? The high-tech ships have very accurate weapons. They don't eat the weapon themselves. Only packs a punch when used accurately and well. But, yeah, I would say that kind of makes sense to me. Really? What? Why would you even attack me? Alright, I'm just gonna go with Disco Ball escorts. Every time I hit my burn drives, I feel like I need to scream Leroy. Leroy Jenkins, because it's really how it feels. What is even left? Oh, nothing. Yeah, they're just, I don't even know why they're even attacking me. They don't have a fleet. Mostly, not because I'm scared of them, but mostly because I'm annoyed that I'm having to beat up, like, fly swat. I'm just going to jump out of here, because it's clear that there's nothing worth colonizing here anyway. So for the next colonies that I set up, I sort of have two options. As far as I could tell. Hold on, I have to pause the recording just for a second here. There we go. I was missing some of my recording software's info. Either I could set up a colony near Rama, making it convenient to visit, or I can set up a colony near the core, making it easy when I'm near the core to visit. Either one will do. Okay, there's clearly more remnants here. Just sort of sitting there. Gate camping. Some scattered ruins. A lot of armaments in that ruin. But not going to make for a good colony. But equipment cache. For Atlas blueprint. Pirates already have the Atlas blueprint, so like I could probably sell it on the pirate black market. It wouldn't really matter, but I won't anyway. And a little fleet that is seemingly not protecting. Oh, but we've actually got a Nexus over here. Which is strange, because I sure have not seen the presence. So let's blow up a Nexus. If I'm even able to with my low-tech fleets. Alright, so I'm going to send me in with a whole bunch of the high-techers. So this Nexus, unlike the previous Nexus I was... you're already laser beaming me. Unlike the previous Nexus I was setting up, there wasn't a lot of remnant presence as far as I could tell. Alright, everybody focus on the station. That's a very strange looking station. Their station's mostly been focusing on the Paragon, leaving me free to just have fun with that. Alright, easy kill, because it was a low-tech station, but it did have an alpha. So, worth every second of that fight. And we're out of here. This clearly will never be a colony. Where are we? We are... So we've done all those worlds. Let's do this one over here. Got to keep an eye on my fuel and supplies, but we're pretty good. We got more time out here. Just want to check in on home. Look at the amount I've spent on growth incentives. It takes a very, very long time to grow when you're large. But Yig should be getting up there, yeah. Yig's almost grown again. Oh, I probably know why I never came here, because there's nothing here. At least jumping in now gives it question marks, so I know in the future. Actually, it gives it an X, because there's literally nothing to survey. Alright, well, I'm already down here. Might as well stay down here. So there's probably a remnant world there because of that big warning beacon. This is another one of the systems that there is no planet. But I'll just do a sensor sweep. Not even anything picked up. Okay. Not worth the fuel. A lot of planets in this one. There's also the, actually, the case might be made that I could colonize Persephone. Maybe that's what I'll do, because it's right in the core. Ooh, I just got a pristine nanoforge. Yummy, that's good. These worlds are all sort of not likely to hold life or interest. I'm going to poke around a little bit just to see if there's something interesting about this world. Not so far as I could tell. Wow, that's all three of them combined. That was that's why it was so many planets. Yeah, maybe I'll colonize Persephone. I don't think Persephone is the sexiest to colonize, but it is definitely the closest to the core. It is part of the core worlds. Bunch of barren worlds, so forget about it. We're also pretty far from the core here. I don't think unless I found like a Gaia world, you know, some Garden of Eden level world, I don't think I'd ever colonize this far out. Just because of the convenience factor of it being like a year's drive away from Rama. Warning beacon high. Alright. You've got my attention. So, what are you guys guarding? A jungle world? Okay. Now, see, I'm a fast fleet. There is some brilliance chasing me. I want to try to get a survey on that jungle. Oh, it's a teeny little jungle world, too. Alright, so there's a Radiant in this fight. Let's go with... A lot of... Ooh, wow. That's a lot of firepower in one fleet. Let's go with maximum firepower. At a cost of fighters, true, but... I might have gone too far in. No, I'm okay. The other ships never reacted. Now I just have to make sure that the Radiant doesn't cap a ship again like last time. Oh god, it's doing it. Leroy! As you can see, it's just full pressure on my... This is bad for my health, but I want to... Yeah, there we go. There goes the Radiant. Alright, let's get out of here then. Far more inexpensive. It's very inexpensive to repair ships compared to replace ships. Replacing ships is a big old pain in the butt, which is why I just blitzed to my my teammates' aid so as to preserve them from destruction. But the Paragon was there to help out too, which makes quite a bit of difference. Lining up the burn drive. Alright. Will we get an AI core? Nope. We did get spark fighters though. Rich farmland. Oh, that is the first time I've found rich farmland. And they had some vigilance sitting in there on the planet surface. But the ruins really didn't have anything to speak of. Oh, the hegemony expedition failed. I'm not surprised. Bye-bye, you can't interdict me if I'm not here. Okie dokie. So let's head over to Vanellope. I kept saying Persephone. I meant Vanellope. Persephone, we're a little bit low on fuel as well. I'm just going to plow through the storms, driving as the crow flies. It hurts. But when you're low on fuel, this is the most efficient way to get from A to B. Alright, before going to Persephone, I'm just gonna do a pit stop for fuel. I'm close enough that if I ran out of fuel here, I would just drift to fuel. Alright. Fuel me. Oop, that was all on the black market, wasn't it? Oh well. Alright, I have a respectable amount of fuel. Hey, Independents, you want some help against the hegemony that are here? I'll break down their relays and all that. Alright, next up, let's head over here, gain a little bit more fuel, because I'm sitting at 3K, which I go through rather quickly now. Yig has grown. Awesome. Let's do another incentive. And then I'm going to add a bunch of additional crew, more than I need, because if I'm going to be colonizing, it takes 1,000 crew to start a colony. So we're now at 10K. Alright. Vanellope star. Here we come. So I'm picking it. Let me make my case for picking it. It is very close to the core worlds. That's the only reason I'm doing it. There is some... Vanellope is a hard-coded system that will exist in every save unless you use a bunch of mods or whatever. And it, generally speaking, has at least one colonizable world. In my case, maybe just the one. If I look at planets in current system, Ithaca would be my first colony. It's really not good. All right, let me survey the rest of it. Maybe I will change my mind. So there's ore here, but it has a penalizingly high hazard. This world does not have penalizingly high hazard, but it would be a very inefficient fuel world because it has almost no volatiles. That would be a okay mining world for regular old ores. This would be a good fuel world. It had 175 hazard rating with abundant volatiles. I already surveyed that. Let's go over to the cryovolcanics. I gotta say, there's really not much attractive about this system other than its proximity. Oh, there's pirate activity at home. Other than its proximity to the core worlds. Perdition just grew. Awesome. This would be a very good mining planet, but it does have a relatively or ridiculously high hazard rating, so it does come with penalties. And then there's, what, 2 more barons to poke around? The other advantage here is I could colonize all these worlds and have it be like some sort of big hub, but it would be very expensive to upkeep because of the hazard ratings. But I suppose, you know what I could do, is put it to a poll. That's always an option. Alright, little bombarded worlds. Meh. Is definitely that. A little bit better. But okay, so now we know that the hazard ratings here vary. Funny enough, the gas giant and the barren world are less hazardous to inhabit than the desert world. It really tells you something about this system. What I think I'm going to do is let you all decide what kind of next solar system to colonize. I'll pick between Vanellope star or something else near the core worlds or something else near Rama. I'll put a bunch of options down and we'll let you all vote. So I guess that means look for a poll on this episode. And I'm looking to hear back from you. If you have any other tips, tricks, feedback for me, do drop me a line. I always love hearing from you guys. And I hope you enjoyed this episode and tune in next time. Me blundering around in my onslaught. Farewell.